people crying actually was the goal.
No, I don't really want to do this. You were the one who made Star Wars woke. A galaxy once far away is now a modern IP that I used to know. I tried to let bygones be, told me to touch grass, I stopped watching, but oh, now suddenly it's my fault the franchise is failing. 'Cause not enough white guys watch the show and you cater to the LGBT. I tried to find somewhere else to go and you said Star Wars was not for me. You were no different from the bullies that I knew in third grade, making fun of all the nerds who only wanted their space. Kicked down the door and took over our show. All we really ever wanted was to just be left alone. You thought that everything you touched would turn to gold, but your words are only really hollow. What's left of your fans if any? Now you fear the power of many. Told kids not to identify with anybody on the screen if their skin is white. It's not enough to play pretend. You got your not so secret gay agenda. You're unsatisfied, you're not happy. You need a validation from your enemies, and you can never let it go, 'cause misery's a dumb code. We watched as everything we loved became a joke. Sacrifices on the altar of your woes that we don't belong. Then threw a fit when we moved on. No, now your messaging is getting pretty old, and you couldn't help believe our kids force-fed your indoctrination. Leave that frizz on Tashi Station.
The showrunners were super welcoming. Our leadership over there has been so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda.
I think that Star Wars is so gay already.
Okay.
We'd be like, look how gay this is, and then send each other a reference photo.
And are you telling me with a straight face that C-3PO is straight?
They're a couple. That's what I think.
I think it's canon that R2-D2 is a lesbian.
Ooh.
There you go.
Smile, Disney hasn't made a buck in quite a while. I'd rather be called racist than a pedophile. Hatred somewhere else, 'cause Star Wars died, the Force is female. Yawn, and you incessantly keep droning on and on. Thought you were a warrior, but you were just a pawn. For this disgrace, you're the only one who's bringing up your race. You paid the price. I know you thought your song was really rather nice. Let me give you unsolicited advice. Disney paid for their reviews. Don't wag your tongue and call it music.
My dad could beat up your dad. Let's have a laugh party.
In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing your team?
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Radical.
Gone are the days of pods and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
My dad could beat up your dad.
Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and we call it Best Gen because we're Masomenos from the same generation. We happen to think that it's the best of all the generations, not because we're better, but because our movies were. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore, while simultaneously complaining about the utter filth that Hollywood is producing today. And boy, we got a show for you tonight. How's everybody doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Exhausted. I
I
have been working way too much. And on top of that, I had to produce a song in 12 hours.
Hey, that was good though. I liked that song. That was good.
It was well put together. Yeah.
I was already overworked getting, the up on the Acolyte and trying to catch up on Doctor Who, and then I'm like, you guys watched her video, right?
I didn't watch hers. I didn't bother. Honestly, I was just catching up on your Devoid of Logics just to see where you were coming from with it before, and I saw the video for
countermand my arguments.
Not specifically, because it's all the same sort of stuff for the most part, but yeah. And I'm not, again, like a couple weeks ago, I'm not loving it, but I'm not hating it, which is weird. But
you need to watch her little Instagram rant.
Yeah.
It's the most disgusting, embarrassing, full of just lies and talking points video I've ever seen in my life, and it's not music. It is grating on the ears. Whatever it's horrible. And she's like, you saw the post, to all those racist,
I saw that part,
all those racist people who don't like Star Wars. I forgot she was black, if I'm being honest. This show is so bad. We haven't even talked about race ever.
She is my same color of skin.
She's half white. She has a white mom.
Yeah, she's my same tone. A little bit
she's
darker,
white
maybe.
And she's a millionaire. And she's complaining about oppression, saying if you don't like Star Wars, you're a racist. And it was just horrible. So, and she said, I'm not going to listen to anyone in the comments. If you want to respond, you have to make your own music video. So I did. I saw her. And she said you have 72 hours to produce it with choreography. I kind of cheated on the choreography. I reused my choreography from the Wheel of Time raps. Okay, but I made it in 12 hours. No, 10. It took me 10 hours, not 72. And I started 2 days late because I saw it a day later, and I was like, "This is stupid." And then a day after that, I was struck with some inspiration, and I wasn't planning on responding to this, but I did it anyway.
That was actually in response, huh?
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, I want to make one, but
I directly countered the points that she made in her song. It's okay, Travis. You can be late. Being late is actually. It's actually a proof that you're not a racist. Because if you remember the list of signs of white supremacy, tardiness was on that list. Or sorry, punctuality is a sign of your white oppression.
Wow. Because minorities...
Nothing quite shouts the small bigotry, or... Yeah, the small bigotry of low expectations, quite like complaining about schedules. Like
that's a weird one, honestly. Yeah,
we can't be asked to be on time. Time is racist. Anyway, I'm on fire. I'm pissed off. I've got to talk about Doctor Who and the Acolyte. And the only saving grace is that Doctor Who's over until Christmas. But we've still got like 6 more weeks of this Acolyte trash. Is it 6? Is it?
No.
8 episodes? Okay, so five more weeks of this?
Oh, I thought this was 4, wasn't
it? No! It's so we've...
No, wasn't
Oh,
this
okay, 4. You're right. So 4 more weeks.
This was episode 4.
Yeah.
No. You can do it if you want to, but I believe in you, ish.
No, we got to make sure we do it. We got to make sure that they watch Maverick. So.
I made
But
it
yeah,
to,
apparently we need to. Yep.
dude. I made it to episode 3, and after that, I was like, Ian, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
let's see,
wasted my time
episode-
with this show.
Episode 3 was the one with the dancing, right?
Yeah.
No, with a lot of
The Ascension, yeah.
there are a lot of shit.
David's gonna be a little bit late. He texted me. Alex Green promised his fiance that he'd watch House of the Dragon with her, but he's gonna jump on once that's over if we're still going.
Yeah.
So,
and I have watched the House of the Dragon episode. So, if you want to talk about that, because
wait, today's episode or last week's? When did they air?
Last week. So I don't.
Okay.
I think it comes out Sunday.
I'm pretty sure it airs at 7 o'clock when we start. So
when we start. That's our competition. Our competition is House of the Dragon.
But you guys got to listen to Doctor Who for a little bit, because Jared's been gone for like 3 weeks, and I need someone to talk to.
I know, and I watched it. I watched it because I knew.
It's so bad. Okay, you go first.
So here's the thing. Like there were definitely a lot of episodes where I'm like, okay, what is going on? And I think they were trying to answer a lot of them in like this season finale.
Were they though?
But here's the thing too. I don't know, because it also seemed like they were like trying to like go back and do some of the like pay tribute to some of the older stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any of those older stuff. Like all I've ever seen is this stuff from David Tennant. No, I watched before David Tennant.
Christopher Eccleston.
Yes.
So that's not all the way from the beginning of this reboot, but
so I watched from there on basically.
Yes.
So I've watched I've watched some of every Doctor.
Yeah.
And it was so I hadn't been exposed to that early stuff. From what it sounds like, it might have been some of the first episodes, or at least that's kind of what it looked like. I was like, dang, those look like old episodes. But then then
they were specifically referencing the pyramids of Mars with Tom Baker as the Doctor, where Sutek was first introduced as a villain. I think I don't think he comes back in like books and audio dramas, but I may be mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's his only appearance on the TV show.
Yeah, okay.
It's a 4-part episode. It's the third episode of that season.
Got it. I think
Pyramids of Mars.
That honestly, they did. I mean, I didn't think that his character, like his design, was bad. So I was kind of impressed with it, but it wasn't like the best design. But that was kind of impressive. But as far as everything else, though, it just didn't make sense. Like, even this last episode, there were so many times where I was like, okay, wait, what? Like, for example, the death. First off, Death goes through all the times and all the places that Doctor's been on.
Yes, Sutek has been attached to the TARDIS since the Pyramids of Mars.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the idea. He's been attached the whole time, and he's been leaving...
Just casually hanging out, laying his seed on every planet that he visits, and then waits for this moment to spread his death.
Yeah, and he kills everybody in the known universe through every time and
everyone in existence except Ruby Sunday's mom.
I know. Well, no, that's the thing. Like, he must have killed her too, right? Like,
sorry, and also some random girl on a planet. Whose name we don't know, but it was really important because the Doctor needed a spoon.
Right, like that's the thing. Like that's what I was bringing up. Is that seriously? It's so weird because it shows him kill everybody, everywhere, every time, and then it cuts to the Doctor, and he's wearing this This
It
crazy,
looks like it's been like 100 years or something, and
Yeah.
they tried to like establish they tried to do some quick, cheap world building of the death has slowly been spreading, and it goes backwards through.
I know. And I was like,
It goes through
this
your
makes
family, and you're like,
sense. And then randomly she just turns into the dust. Like all of the other ones were exposed to the dust, right? So the dust got her. So at first I was like, okay, wait, did she escape the dust because she was hiding in this dust?
I don't know.
this
No,
dust-
because there was dust all around her. Her
Right?
fruit. She had a fruit stand, and it was all turned to dust. It doesn't make sense, Jared.
Right? Like that's
Don't
what I'm
try
saying.
and make it make sense because it won't.
Yeah, so that was the problem with this Doctor Who, is that literally I was watching these last couple episodes and I was like, what is, like, that just doesn't make any sense at all. And what's funny is that Amanda, so like she wasn't watching it with me, but she was watching it there by me while I was watching it.
She was tuning in on her phone.
No, well, yeah, I guess
She
that's
was
a
doing
good one.
something else while you were watching, but she was present.
Yeah, and so I would make these comments, be like, "What? Well, that doesn't make any sense." And then she'd pop up and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous." But like it just didn't make any sense. There were so many questions where I was like, "Okay, wait. So is this a question that was answered previously in one of the previous episodes, or was it an answer from like way back in Doctor Who?"
No, it has nothing. So you mentioned it. It tries to pay homage to past episodes, and I get like technically they have one of the old companions from the old series in this episode, even though she doesn't do anything. But the only homage that they pay to Pyramids of Mars is the fact that Sutek is in both episodes.
Well, but then what about
and they insult it the entire time. They say, "Oh, that old episode, that was just cultural appropriation bullcrap."
Yeah.
So they bring up past episodes to insult them.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you're doing to your fan base.
Yeah, no, I had no idea, because like they were all over the place. They were trying to reference old episodes. They were trying to reference old
the memory TARDIS.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the thing. I'm like, what is this TARDIS? Like, it's tiny.
The explanation is memory is time. No. Time is memory. So memory must be a time machine.
Yeah.
That was a line from the show.
Yep. Yeah, so there was lots of stuff like that where I'm like, okay, like, yeah, like that could be sweet and sentimental, but at the same time, I'm like,
my favorite part is how
at all
he beats the bad guy with a rape whistle.
Right, too. Like that's the thing. I was like, is this in reference to another?
No, I have no idea. He just blows a whistle and it moves the TARDIS. And then he beats the dog, the god of death, who is a dog, by taking him for a walk.
That's a good way to
It's so retarded.
Yeah, like that's the thing. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill time. No, I'm gonna kill death by."
Yeah. What happens if you take death to death? It makes life.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? And then how he was going through that vortex with him, and he was.
Isn't that two wrongs make a right kind of logic?
It's nonsense.
Like, how is that taking death to death? Like, how is this killing him? And then he's literally hanging on behind the TARDIS the whole time, right? And he's flying behind.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he takes off the leash, he disappears. I'm like, well, how did that happen?
I don't know. Jared, there are no answers. This entire David, Jared, sorry, not David. This entire season, it's felt like Russell T Davies has been pretending to be. Hold on. This entire season has felt like Russell T Davies, pretending to be Christopher Nolan, writing some show that's not Doctor Who. No, sorry. It's Russell T Davies who has done a Freaky Friday body swap with J.J. Abrams, who is wearing the skin suit of Christopher Nolan trying to write a sci-fi. The entire season has been nested mystery boxes
Yeah.
with no answers. It's been a mystery box inside another mystery box, and put that box inside of a box, mailing it to himself, and none of them have any answers.
Yeah. It has not made any sense.
This finale was supposed to answer all of the questions that we had for the whole season. It answered the 72 yards episode, which still doesn't make any sense. It's just for some reason the perception filter something had the same distance. That doesn't explain that episode. Exactly. It makes it worse. Yep. None of it makes sense. The entire mystery of this season has been, who is Ruby Sunday's mommy? And the answer is, she's no one. It's just a girl.
So
she's
I will say with that.
It's going to turn out to be that she's a Palpatine.
No, they found her mom. She's just a regular person. But that doesn't explain why everywhere she goes it makes it snow, and why she had a secret song inside her heart that defeated the god of music, or why she what was the other stupid thing? Like, she has so many Deus Ex Machina things that just happen around Ruby Sunday's character because she's special, and the reason is because we gave it meaning?
Yeah. Like, I think, again, that could be sentimental, right? Like, if you look at that, it'd be like if you just take that at face value, then that could be sentimental.
If you'd set any of it up, maybe.
Well,
but they try to have these moments where it's undeserved, like, payoff. They're trying to have payoff without setting anything up. Like, they try to have these moments that they're clearly designed to be emotional, and you're like, I'm not invested in any of this. I don't even know what it means. Like when the whatever her name is, Jane, maybe, the leader of Unit, the girl boss in charge of Unit, when she has her death scene, she spouts off some line that it feels like it was supposed to be like a reference to something that she'd said previously, but it wasn't. It was just, Doctor, promise me that you'll win, because there have to be birds. There need to be birds have to sing again. You're like,
right? I'm like, what?
But what are you talking about? That could have been a good line.
Yeah,
if you'd been talking about birds earlier in the episode. I don't understand what is going on in this show.
Yeah, it's been really confusing. I haven't understood anything that's been going on because they haven't set it up at all, and they haven't like you said, they're trying to do these mystery box things, and it's not working. They're not connecting, because that's what I noticed as well, is that I'm not connecting with any of the characters, right? Like there's been several things where like the music gets all dramatic and like it's supposed to be tragic because, oh no, they're dying, right? And I'm like, okay, like what's going on here? Like,
did you see the cliffhanger of the 2-part finale? Okay, so last week's episode.
Yeah.
No, Sutek is in the building and there's this big dangerous thing, and so the girl boss says, all non-personnel leave. Okay, everyone else get out so you don't die, and of course Rose stays because she's transgender, so she is essential personnel. Did you watch this episode closely? She's sitting there with a tablet, just going for the whole episode, just in the background, while everyone's shooting Sutek. She's just going.
Yeah, I did see that. I'm
essential personnel, and her throwaway line in previous episode was, "Oh, I'm not very important. They had me investigating shoplifting."
Yeah,
and she's essential personnel. Okay.
Yeah.
Pop quiz. We've talked about it on the show, why was the sonic screwdriver redesigned to look like a butt plug? What was Russell T. Davis's excuse for doing that?
Because it didn't look like a screwdriver.
No, he said, the sonic screwdriver looks too much like a gun, so I redesigned it for kids. What did he give the kid in this episode, Jared? A scooter with a minigun attached. the midget boy genius kid has a minigun scooter.
That's true. Yep, he did have a gun.
Everything Russell T. Davis says is bull crap.
Yeah. It definitely didn't make a lot of sense, and there was a lot of stuff that they were trying to do over and above and beyond, and they were trying to make it feel dramatic and big and exciting, and yeah, a lot of it just kind of fell flat. I was like, it didn't make any sense, and I wasn't involved. Like, I didn't feel like it had involved me, I guess, enough to want to really care about what was happening, because there were so many questions that kept coming up. It was ridiculous. So I totally understand your frustration. It was very, very disheartening.
Here we go.
But I will say this too. This
is the finale of Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's pretty much kind of what it looked like. It was
also out of 8 episodes, Chudigatwa has broke down crying in 7 of them.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. I think he's definitely showing like an emotional side of the Doctor that like you haven't seen that in any of them. And
yeah, you have.
Well, it's not as prevalent.
It's been better. It hasn't been whiny, but they've showed emotion.
Yeah. There have been a lot of tears, like a lot of like
Matt Smith talking to the God Planet. It was one of the best scenes in all of Doctor Who. Like, take my memory, take all of it.
That's true.
Screaming at a god, saying, "If you want to do this, take me." It's so good.
Yeah, I agree. That was a really good one. I don't know. All I'm saying is that I haven't been put off by the emotion that's been shown by this Doctor. I feel like it has been like he's done an okay job with it, but
all that Egyptian stuff was cultural appropriation. I don't know. Maybe the Egyptian stuff was because Sutekh was an Egyptian god who they unearthed in an Egyptian tomb.
Yeah.
They That's not cultural appropriation. That's cultural appreciation. Sutekh was a cool villain.
So how did they change him?
It's just a guy. It's really old Doctor Who, so it's crappy. It's just a guy with a Jekyll mask.
Yeah, I did.
It's just a guy it's just a guy with a cape and a Jekyll mask. That's it.
Yeah.
But he's buried in a sarcophagus, right? There's mummies. He has mummy henchmen.
It was a different time back then because they couldn't do the sort of visual expression like we can today.
This is great. This is how all teenage girls from 2004 go out dressed when they're abandoning their babies. And the whole point, she was pointing to a sign, Jared. She was pointing to a sign to name her baby. But for who? She was the only one there. How on earth are the nuns at the church where she abandoned her child supposed to know that her name is supposed to be Ruby because someone in the middle of the forest felled a tree and no one was around to hear it?
Like literally, yeah. I'm like, wait. So are they supposed to watch this CTV? Like, I don't get why the pointing was.
A real line of dialogue from this episode is Ruby Sunday sitting at a bar, and her opening line is, "I was named after a road."
Right.
It doesn't beat last week's line though, which was. Do you dream of being an ambulance?
I don't remember that being.
It's a line of dialogue from the show, David.
Who said that one?
The Doctor.
Oh, that's right.
to
That's
the
right.
to the other mystery box that doesn't have an answer.
Yeah.
Do you dream of being an ambulance?
That makes no sense.
Like it
I'm
sounds
just
like
saying,
it's
it's a good thing the street where she was dropped off didn't have some ridiculous street name.
People have been posting memes about it. Okay, people are upset. They're dropping tags of horrible street names like Gay Head, and that was the favorite one that I saw. But yeah, this is the sonic screwdriver is too much. It's too dangerous. It has to be redesigned because it looks like a gun. Let's give a kid a gun. I hate this. I hate it. Spaceballs 2 is being made.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't know if that needs to be happening.
Yep.
I'm actually
Several
really
years
surprised
ago, I would have been
anybody-
excited about this, but the awful state of the history of the world Part 2 was so bad.
It had
I am
two
kind of
good
surprised that
sketches.
So many people as excited about this as they are.
The only way it can work is if they
Spaceballs
bring
was
back
great.
Rick Moranis and if Mel Brooks writes the whole thing and no one else helps like Josh Gad. It's not gonna be good. I have no faith.
Well, he didn't really help with History of the World Part 2. He was just there to stamp his name on it, saying, "Oh yeah, he's associated with this project."
Yeah.
He didn't have anything to do with it.
Didn't even appear in it. Yeah. He was in that the scene in
He
the
was
very
in the
first episode.
the buff scene cameo thing, but yeah.
So dumb. Anyway, did you have anything else to say on Doctor Who? I could talk about it all day, but I don't want to.
It was very disappointing.
Mark Clark. I did start watching the Matt Baker episodes. I didn't have time to finish though. It was good. It's really
I
good.
think what I would add is that
Tom Baker, you mean?
Tom Baker. Sorry.
There's definitely been a lot that has been confusing and frustrating and just downright nonsense and hysterical sort of contradictions. But I will say, though, that not all of the moments were bad. Like I think if you break them down at face value, there's a lot of good things that they're trying to push, like things like I brought up earlier about the memories and how the memories can be a time machine.
Could have been great if it made any sense.
I know, but if you take that at face value, right, like that alone, if you're thinking about it at a deeper level, right, like
sure,
every time
if it was good, it would have been better. I agree.
So
I don't know what point you're making. Yeah, I also wish it was better.
So all I'm saying is that I think there's a lot of stuff that if you look at it at a face value and you separate it from the context, it actually there's a lot of little treasures in there that I think are good. But when you put it all together, you put all the characters, you put all the story, you combine it all together, it's a mess. It's a mess for sure. So that's all I'd add. So.
Okay.
I'm sorry that you've had to deal with it, but I am happy we don't have to deal with it until Christmas again. So,
did you guys see this one? There's a doctor show, and a kid has a tumor. This is a very woke show about a doctor that the premise of the show is turning a hospital into a socialist nightmare. They fire everyone in charge and say, we're going to give free healthcare to everyone. And you're like, okay, that could never work because then it's stupid. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Any guesses on what caused the kid's tumor?
It was growing between her legs.
Nope.
And she didn't want it there because she identified as a she.
Nope. Nope.
That's my best guess.
Nope. Racism.
No.
Racism caused the tumor.
No.
Yep. Here we go. Look, yeah. Social resistance because the kid was an activist and fighting against racism, dominant culture, blah blah blah, felt threatened, on a daily basis, blah, 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 disenfranchised, who gives a frick? I don't want to get demonetized because that's happened before from playing CSI. Racism. Your son's tumor was caused by racism.
What?
Wow.
Wow, that is weird.
That is so ridiculous.
It's so bad. These people, I don't know. I mean, I know the answer, but these people shouldn't have jobs. I was going to say I don't know why they do have jobs, but we all know. We all know why they have jobs. They shouldn't have them.
Is that supposed to be a comedy? I mean, because that's funny.
No,
if I heard that, I would start laughing.
It's a drama. I did. It's a drama.
Wow.
My gosh.
Okay, I have a whole bunch of Star Wars articles, and they're not organized because there's too many of them, so they might get out of order. But we can talk about Star Wars.
Man, I just have to say, I'm feeling a little out of place here because all of you guys look like you just got nice, fresh haircuts. And
No.
I obviously
a week or two ago. I don't know.
Yep, it's your turn, Jared.
Okay, do we
Like a
want?
mop up there.
You were looking very, very fabulous. That hair was very, yeah.
Thanks.
Do we want
I'm
to?
go after the guy that was in Godzilla? So
Do we want to do articles first and then talk about the episode, or episode first then do articles?
Or flip
there-
it up.
What?
You just did Doctor Who and your song.
let's talk about the episodes first, and then we can do it.
Mark Clark's been a member for 20 months.
Wow.
Woo!
It's a long time. Thanks. It's been a ride. Mark Clark donated $1.99 so that Jared can get a haircut because he looks like a hippie. Thank you so much. I will not send him that money.
Oh man, yeah, none of this has ever come
Hey,
to me.
I frequently pay for movie tickets, okay?
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm wearing the tie-dye today because I feel like I had to brighten up the mood a little bit.
You got the tie-dye, you got the long hair, a beard, everything else,
Yeah, I get it.
David's the odd man out with that. We all have glorious beards, but not so much for David.
Yep. Maybe one of these days I'll work on that.
No.
Yeah.
But 20 months of membership, Mark. That's awesome. If you want to become a
congrats.
member, if you want to be as cool as Mark is, it's just 99 cents a month. And it really helps support me through these trying times when I have to watch this utter garbage. So. And you get early access to my videos.
Mm-hmm. The reality, though, is that nobody will be quite as cool as Mark Clark because they can't catch up.
Can't catch up.
He did it from the beginning. He was the first. He's always going to be the coolest. But you can put yourself on the list and improve your coolness by joining.
Yeah. Well, there's a point where the upgrades stop happening. Like I think like 2 years.
Right.
I mean, you'll still be longer, but like the badge stops upgrading after like 2 or 3 years. Right now, he's on gold. He's got a gold sombrero.
You can make yourself think that you are as cool as Mark Clark once you get to the 3 years.
The highest level is a platinum, I believe, is the color I went with. I kind of just copied like League of Legends tier list for the colors of sombrero. So it goes gold, and then it goes. I haven't played League of Legends in years, so I don't even remember anymore. Let me pull it up.
Well, what are we doing
Star
first?
Wars.
House of the Dragon or?
Oh yeah, let's talk about something good. Should we talk about Hot D?
That's my favorite topic.
Okay.
You
haven't watched it yet? Okay.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh.
It's okay. I can mute you guys for a little bit.
No.
Let's do Star Wars. Let's get it over with. Let's do Star Wars.
We'll do Star Wars, then articles, and then you can drop off because I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
It was brutal.
Yeah, there's too much to talk about.
Yeah.
There's too much D. It's too hot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's such an awful and yet simultaneously awesome acronym for the show.
Yeah, so after gold, so after your gold sombrero, right? You get regular straw sombrero, you get iron sombrero, and then bronze, silver, gold, and after that, it goes to platinum, which is like a blue gold, and then diamond. No, it's I don't know. The last one is like a multicolor. I can't remember what I called it. Maybe that's diamond. Platinum, emerald, diamond.
Sombrero.
I go platinum, emerald, and then diamond, but there's red in it for some reason. So it's like I don't know. Come on, I needed more colors, okay? I think it's the coolest looking one. So that's 2 years.
Okay, so let's get into this episode.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm in about the same spot that I've been. I honestly, I am surprised at how I'm not hating it. Like again,
Really?
it's not like it's amazing.
Even after, I mean, I know you missed last week, but
Uh-huh.
last week was so bad. It broke so much stuff.
So I don't know if it broke stuff. It definitely okay. So they hint at the idea that they somehow created the twins. The other Force.
Come on.
They
Be
certainly
intellectually
hint at it.
honest. They didn't hint
Very
at the
possible.
idea. The twins were created with the Force.
They certainly want you to think that that's the case, whether or not they actually go there. And again, yeah.
That's
But-
what they were. They said
yeah,
it.
I-
They said this. We haven't done. The reason we've been exiled is because we created the girls with the Force. And
no,
they
said they would say that things that our power is considered too dark or unnatural. Again, I'm not. They very well could, and they probably will say that that's what they did, but they didn't actually say that. They hinted at it, and they want us to think that that's what they're getting at. And so, if they do, I'm not going to sit there and go like, "Oh no, I was wrong." Well, you're right. They certainly
my favorite part because
want us to be thinking that.
you weren't here when we talked about episode 3. My favorite. So I want to hear your response to this before we talk about episode 4. My favorite part, because it was so stupid in episode 3, was we've been in hiding this whole time. The Jedi have been hunting us down because we did something so strong, presumably create the girls with the Force. Okay, we did something so strong they sensed it, and they've been hunting us down because they think we're dark and unnatural. They know that the Jedi are here on the same planet, right? They just moved on to a different city. They thought it was stupid that they don't have scouts, right? They can't see the Jedi ship,
Well,
right?
They said they.
I'll let you finish, but I have a slightly different read on it. But
that's not what I want to complain about. I'm getting there. Okay,
go ahead. Yeah.
They know for a fact that Jedis were here looking for them. It's possible they've moved on. They're still on the same planet. They said that. They looked to a different city. See, I told you we'd be safe here. And then they start their ceremony. And the first thing she says is, we haven't been able to perform this ceremony ever since we created the 2 girls with the Force. And that caused the Jedi to hunt us down. We haven't been able to do this. We've been in exile because we did this. And we're going to do it again tonight. Even though the Jedi are on the damn planet!
They know that.
So,
Yeah, except for they're like, is there any sign of the Jedi? No, there's been no sign of the Jedi. And then they do it.
yeah.
And
I have a totally different read on the events and what they were going for and what was happening there. But I will say that it doesn't necessarily make it any less cringy, the kind of dancing and weird voodoo thing that they were doing, and the fact that they were doing it in spite of the fact that there are Jedi there, and they're certainly... So the way that I read it is, we don't follow the Jedi perspective on the Force, and so therefore, in general, they've outcast us. We are considered dangerous because we don't follow their perspective on the Force.
Not
and we've been
outcast.
exiled from that perspective.
Hunted.
They did mention having been hunted,
Not
but
several times.
Yeah.
No, they said they are hunting for us.
And the only thing that they said about that was that they, I don't know, the reason that I hadn't hung on to that is because the Jedi didn't come in and start cutting them down. They said, whatever you guys are doing here, we're not necessarily, but we want to test.
But you haven't seen the other side of the flashback. You don't know. Maybe they did come in cutting them
I
down.
think that they will start coming in. I'm sure that there will be some of that. But anyway, and
from Kathleen Kennedy's point of view, the Jedi are evil. Okay?
Yeah,
I wonder how that makes her. Yeah, interesting. No, honestly, I actually really thought that in episode 3 they did a pretty good job of showing that the witches were kind of not good at all because they were trying to force the kids into doing one thing, and only when the Jedi were trying to say, "Hey, we want you to have options," and of course there's going to be the commentary on the like coming in and kidnapping kids, but they even said we're not going to kidnap them, but we do have the legal right to test them. As long as you and we would only take them with your permission. They actually did say, with your permission, we would be able to take them.
Uh-huh.
And again, the one Zabrak-looking mother one was like super angry and trying to force them to do things and being painted as a bad person. And the Jedi are sitting there saying, you should be able to like decide whether you want to come with us or stay with the evil witches. And then you've got May, who we know is, at least at that point in the story, being portrayed as just this evil person, is sitting there going, I'm going to kill you if you leave us. And all that stuff. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, they're actually, I felt like, even though obviously we've got our quotes of them saying, oh, you know, the good thing is there's no good and evil.
It's not about good and evil. It's about power and who's allowed to wield it. Like, I don't know, Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant, maybe? The one who brought him the women to abuse?
But that's sort of my point, though, is they kind of undercut that idea by saying, like, look at these people who are trying to let...
Right. Right. I don't think that's intentional, though. That's just because they're bad at writing. They didn't mean to accidentally write one of the most based plot lines in history, having the government come in and try to take your kids away from you because you practice a religion that they don't like. That was never their intention.
Well,
that was an accident.
That part, I think, is their intent on that. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
I don't know. I'm reading it completely differently. It's obvious that they're implying that the Jedi are the ones that are evil, and these witches didn't do anything wrong, apparently. But it doesn't make any sense because there are lots of other different religious factions that view the Force differently than the Jedi. Mm-hmm. Some of them are in Disney canon, like whatever the church that in
the monk guy in Rogue One.
But they followed the Jedi a lot.
And then there's the Church of the Wills as well. And
the Church of the Wills is one that is going to be a lot more in line. And so far, everything that we've seen of that has been in line with Jedi teachings. And the ones, the Lasats or whatever that Zeb is part of, they view it a little differently. But I think that there is still something, again, like you see with the witches of Dathomir and these witches. They're the reason they're witches as opposed to whatever other mystical forces, because they've decided they're not labeling the good and bad and the light and dark. They're willing to do these dark
witches
things.
of Dathomir is a good comparison because they were practicing, dark arts with the Force in some other way, but they weren't hunted like the other ones. In fact, there were lots of other people from Dathomir, Zarbaks and everything, that were part of the resistance.
Right. And even those witches when justifying their existence and moral code, didn't directly quote Darth Sidious.
Exactly. That's the part that really breaks canon for me, because not only fine, whatever. Let's say they discovered how to create life with the Force or whatever. They better have been working for Darth Plagueis, or Darth Plagueis stole that idea from them and then murdered them or something like that. But all of that is out the window because all of these Jedi know about it now. They specifically told the Jedi they didn't have a father. They were created with the Force. So all of those Jedi know about it. And now after this episode, skipping ahead a little bit, all those Jedi that are involved that see the Sith and everything, the Sith that's not a Sith.
Whatever, I know the entire discourse on Twitter and the internet around episode 4 has been, you idiots.
Yeah.
They've never said the word Sith.
Yeah, but guess what?
We know that's not the point. You can't bring in Kiani Mundi, right, and have him see these things that look, it doesn't matter. I know that they intentionally have avoided using the term Sith.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But you don't think that it would have been relevant in that conversation with Kiani Mundi where he says, we haven't seen a Sith in 1,000 years, but there were those space lesbians that created a kid. Maybe this is something like that.
Yeah.
You don't think that would be relevant in any way?
I mostly agree with you.
Lightsaber. So that was the thing in the Phantom Menace. They didn't know that Maul was a Sith either, right?
Yeah, they were guessing.
The lightsaber. He said he had a red lightsaber. He used the Force. They felt the dark side of the Force. And they said, "I think this guy's a Sith. If he's a Sith, there's another Sith." So even if they didn't even think that this guy was a Sith, they've already established that May was working for some. She was an apprentice to some master that she didn't know. That sounds an awful lot like a Sith. Even if they don't think that, this guy disappears or whatever, they're gonna investigate. They're gonna hunt. They're not just gonna I guess he wasn't a Sith. I don't understand what they're doing.
That's where I agree with you that again taking it.
Yeah. Sorry, Mexa. We lost you.
Have a good night and have a great week. Yeah, I was cooking some food, so that's why I left the stream earlier. But yeah, and
the Doctor Who, and we're talking a little acolyte. But did you watch House of the Dragon? If you'd rather talk about that, or do you just?
No, I haven't watched it. I was going to watch it like when I was going to get dinner. Right now, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want you to be able to say whatever you want to say if you want to get out of here, but.
Yeah. I want to tell you that have a good week, guys, and talk to you later.
Before you go though, I want to hear without spoiling how House of the Dragon ended, or just episode 1. You seen episode 1?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't seen House of the Dragon yet?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna watch it right now.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, never mind. Then go watch House of the Dragon. Leave. Get out of here.
I'm gonna have dinner and do that. See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah. He wasn't talking to anybody else watching here. He was just talking to Mexa. Everyone else.
No. You guys can't leave. You got to stay.
I don't know. Again, do I wish that they had not tried to mess with that? Yeah, but it doesn't. So to me, again, taking it at the if they do it this way, the idiocy comes in the idea that the Jedi don't decide to connect that to a Sith idea. Whereas, the one thing that I'll push back on is it is Qui-Gon who thinks, I think this is a Sith. We also, I think, can give credit to the fact that Qui-Gon has this sense based on the skill of Maul, and while what they're seeing of May is she's got some training, but she's not good. She's not particularly skilled. And so
this episode, the end of this last episode, all the Jedi confront this mysterious.
The problem is the intention. It's the intention. Look, I get you could technically maybe explain it away, right? But it's I don't want to have to jump through these hoops when the intention behind it is malice. Okay, there are so many other things that they could have done. They didn't even have to do any. There's so much Star Wars to explore, and they specifically chose to do this knowing it would piss people off.
Yeah.
Because they do not care. They've repeatedly told Star Wars fans, we hate you.
Yeah. I agree too, and that's part of my problem with this whole High Republic era, because it's supposed to be a time when there were no galaxy-wide threats. They didn't know that the Sith were out there.
Well, not that there weren't any galaxy-wide threats, but the Jedi were in.
Did you watch?
Side, right?
Did you watch the part of my Devoid of Logic where I talked about what happened with Wikipedia?
Oh yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah, and
they changed it.
Yeah,
the day that episode aired, they erased it.
Yeah, because to be fair, do I wish that they hadn't changed it? Do I think that it was dumb to have to decide to retcon something like that? Yeah, but it came from a CD-ROM from 2004 or whatever.
No,
it came from the official
episode 1.
Yeah, they would release encyclopedias, right, with pictures of all the characters. And they reprinted it 12 times. Disney actually did one of the printings.
Again, do I wish that they hadn't? Do I think it's a dumb reason for them to have done it? But does it change anything? Does it matter? No.
It matters specifically because of the line that he says. But his age isn't that big of a deal. Great. Mm-hmm. It could have been literally any other character, and then it wouldn't have even been a deal. Mm-hmm. It's the intention behind. Yeah, sure. his age doesn't matter that much. But it's demonstrative of just how little these people care about Star Wars. I get that it's a nitpick. It's not that big of a deal, but I wish that Star Wars was being made by someone who cared about the little things.
Yeah, yes, but that's always been the problem. Because even back when George was making it, he didn't care about a lot of those little things either. Yeah. So I mean, again, I don't really want to do a lot of defending of the show. Like I've been thinking about, since I wasn't on top of getting on my channel for the regular reviews of Acolyte. Yeah. Maybe I'll do like a wrap up or whatever.
A postmortem.
I'm thinking of like a begrudging begrudging sort of defense of the Acolyte, where I'm like, there's not like I really want to defend it. It's not great, but I don't get the level of, and I was talking to my brother a little bit about this, and I think a lot of it comes down to like they've just kind of exhausted their goodwill with the fans, which we've talked about in a lot of ways already. And that's what it is for me, is it's like not that I have my goodwill exhausted or that I still have tons of goodwill, but I just am not letting that be the thing that sways how much I feel about it. You know, I don't know.
Can I also mention
giving them a benefit of a doubt?
The physical design of Ki-Adi-Mundi compared to the prequel stuff? For some reason, in this show, he looks like a shriveled up scrotum, and you can see there are like hairs coming out of the shrivels on the side of his head. Oh. It looks really gross.
I did notice that,
and I don't know why they made him look so gross. Yes, he's always kind of looked like a scrotum, but it was a smooth scrotum before, and now it's shrivelly and hairy. He was bumpy, but it was a smooth bumpy. It wasn't a shriveled scrotum, okay? He looks so gross, and the facial hair is the fakest prosthetic crap I've ever seen in my life. They don't give a crap. This show looks horrible, and it's one of the most expensive Star Wars shows. I think it's the most expensive show they've ever done. It's more expensive than some of the movies they made. It's insane. You can't see the money anywhere in this show. It looks like garbage.
The one thing that I'll give it, though, that would be a cost that they didn't put in on the other shows was doing real locations, which is a lot better than what we've had when we've had all the
volume shots.
This is mostly volume, dude.
Overused. No. They did a lot more. I mean, again, of course, they probably used the volume, and they use a lot of CGI and everything, but they did do a lot of on-location filming, and they did a lot more of that. And doing any of it is more than they've done on the other shows, but they've done a lot of remote shooting on that one.
But still, that's taking. I mean, you do the remote shooting, you don't have to do the CGI on the volume. So
but you still do have to do some of the CGI, because you're still going to have to replace some of the backgrounds and making sure that it expands out into all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so, I don't know. It doesn't look great, no, but is it? I think it is better looking than some of the other shows that we've had so far. And
I think it's just insane that they're putting more resources into this than freaking Kenobi. Like that was their money.
That is ridiculous. That is dumb. I completely agree. Yep.
I don't understand why they're spending more money on this than Kenobi and Boba Fett and everything else.
Can we talk about? Can we talk about how? Oh, sorry. You. This is probably connected. So you say your thing first.
It's just the sort of thing where, for me again, this is. I put it around Ahsoka and like maybe just above or just below Ahsoka and just above Kenobi, where it's like I can enjoy pieces of this, but it was not well done.
There was more miles above. There was more to enjoy about Kenobi than this one.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the slice in the helmet. That dialogue was really good.
That was a little bit of a retread, and I'd have issues with the way.
I don't care. It was done well. I haven't enjoyed a single thing about this show. Correction. I have enjoyed some of the aliens. They've done a good job with the CGI.
Squid Game guys, fine.
Aliens. That's it.
But to me, it is like it's being treated as if it's worse than Boba Fett. And I'm sorry, but Boba Fett is by far the worst. And as much as the dialogue and writing in this aren't amazing,
I had more fun watching Boba Fett though. I enjoyed it more. I think on a technical level. Boba Fett was embarrassing. It was more fun to watch than this. This is just actively grating.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I compare it think about the freaking Power Ranger Vespa game.
Yeah.
versus this. And I'm like, no, thank you. Please give me Acolyte all day, every day. Then the Vespa Gang and the like.
Yeah, but when I watched Book of Boba Fett, I was laughing, and when I'm watching this show, I'm sad.
Yeah, and for me again, this is the thing that shocks me because nothing about it do I love. I'm like, oh, this is so cool, this is awesome. Okay. But for me, just like a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, I'm actually engaged and I'm curious about the story. And I've heard a lot of people mad about the mysteries that they're playing with, and I'm like, yeah, maybe they're teasing you a bunch with it, but that's not a bad thing necessarily. It's the point of trying to tease you.
No, but it's just, the storytelling is juvenile. You know? It's written by a toddler. Yeah. Let's talk about May. She flip flops morally more than Mitt Romney does. Okay, I don't like. This episode starts with her saying, "I want this more than anything in my life." Literally 2 seconds later, she says, "I don't have to do this. I'm good."
Yeah. That was only slightly faster of a flip than Anakin. So like that for me, where I'm like, yeah, that was a little too quick, and it would have been nice if they'd stuck with her being evil, and so you have an evil twin and a good twin, and you don't have every single bad character flip to being good. It'd be nice to actually have somebody stay bad. But
you remember. So hold on. I don't know why the show keeps doing this. It keeps setting up something that could possibly be interesting, and then it immediately throwing it away. Remember when we talked about how not May, Osha's ship crashes, right? And so she's technically part of the breakout, and that could be an interesting plot line where she was trying to cooperate, but now it's the fugitive, right? She's been framed for taking down this ship. Now they just think that she's even more of a bad guy, and so if she just turns herself in, if she goes and turns herself into the Jedi, they'll arrest her and they won't listen to her. So now she's got to go solve the mystery by herself while simultaneously being hunted by the good guys. That could have been an awesome story because they're both good, but they're both trying to solve the same mystery, and she has to do it without getting caught, working against the good guys, even though she's on their side. That could have been amazing. And then they immediately throw it in the garbage and say, no, we're not going to... Sorry, you liked that good idea? We're not going to go with that. And then they do the same thing in this episode. May finally... if you take out how stupid it was that she turned to the good side, okay? But she turned to the good side, showed up to the house too late. He's been murdered. Oh, no. They're going to pin this on me. And then the tension is immediately thrown out the window because the bad guy shows up!
Yep.
They're actively cutting their own feet off, and I don't understand. These writers are imbeciles. They have no idea what they are doing. It is moronic. And I don't understand how anyone could find any level of enjoyment from the show. It's weak.
Yeah, it's
pathetic.
I said it last week. I think these writers think that they're being smart. Like, oh, you see what you did there? We're doing this thing. And then they think it's clever, and it's really not. It's undercutting them. It's breaking lore. And sometimes they're doing it intentionally, I think, to saying, oh, you thought we broke lore, but really we're not breaking lore.
It's all summed up with the design of Smilo Ren. Oh man, this looks so cool. This looks so good. It looks idiotic.
Yeah.
And you can tell they think it's awesome. It looks dorky.
That sort of stuff, I think a lot of it is just how you're approaching it and what your buy-in is. Because I'm not like, oh, that's really cool, but I'll even say that same thing with the stupid power of one, power of two, power of many thing. It was dumb. But if you're kind of bought into it, it's like, okay, that fits. Okay,
you're just using Jared's argument. Sure, it could have been better if it was done better. I agree. Yeah. Okay.
And again, I'll agree that like it's not great, but it's just nowhere near deserves the level
I'm so sorry.
Iris we can get it.
I'm so sorry. You are officially a racist. But hey, you can absolve yourself of your racism with a papal indulgence by becoming a channel member, and you too can technically become a Mexican and use that as your diversity shield. because only white people can be racist.
So we've been told. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That again, I really don't have a lot to add to it or to fight to defend it. I'm just surprised at how much I'm enjoying it, in spite of the fact that not only there's the criticisms of potentially breaking canon or lore or changing lore or whatever else, but yeah, there's kind of some dumb writing that, at least for me in the moment, I was engaged enough that I didn't I didn't hate, I don't know, it just was engaged. So like them showing up at the same time, even though the Jedi had to go all the way over to Coruscant and then back to the planet when they were just going straight to the planet and somehow still arriving at the same time. Just like the previous episode where they go through the temple and she goes a different way and somehow gets there first, even though
they were going directly to his location. She took a sidetrack.
Yeah.
She took time to daydream, go a side way that's longer, and got there first. Yeah.
Well, a side way that either is shorter and the person leading them is just dumb and took them the long way around for no reason, or again, she went longer.
Okay.
So
if your boss shows up and says, "Hey, take me to the server room," do you go straight there?
Again, any number of them could
especially
be okay
if you're already on the verge of losing your job, like Obesity One Kenobi was.
Yeah, so that one did kind of like, oh hey, that's kind of weird, but then them showing up the planet didn't like occur to me until somebody pointed out. I'm like, oh yeah, that is kind of dumb. That's really dumb. Yep. They're
using a sniffer.
They could have written around it in a different way.
They're using a sniffer to track the Wookiee, even though he hasn't been seen in the village for years. That's not how tracking works. And Star Wars has established they have technology that can scan planets for life forms.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. Yeah. I will say there was a little bit of like people getting mad about pronouns with that one, and I was like, oh, I didn't think that was any kind of a pronoun commentary, because she was just like, I don't even know what this thing is. Whatever it is, I don't know. And then they just went with he the rest of the time, and they were fine with it. And they were like, oh yeah, that's it. And so there wasn't any kind of commentary with that. Like,
Williams, thank you so much for the $10. Someone needs to deliver some Narcan, so you don't die of copium. Oh
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
you agree it's not a good show, right?
I'm not saying it's great. Again, to me, it's good enough for me as a person who's just going to love things that Star Wars to be okay watching it. It's not Book of Boba Fett. It's not the girl under the trench coat of Kenobi. It's not the mad weird scramble chasing after the girl and nobody can catch her of Kenobi.
That's still great. Yeah, I mean, but it hasn't been great either. Like even the acting's just been horrible. Like literally the kid that they catch a couple episodes ago to have him, point out, oh yeah, it was her. I was like so dumb. I was like, that's not even that was horrible acting.
It looked like her, but she had a hood on.
Yeah, right. It's like there's so many things like that where I'm like, no.
And that's not even great writing either. It's just like, okay, we've done this whole it looks exactly, that's her, but it's not her because we already know. Okay. So that doesn't serve any purpose at all.
Okay.
Right, I'm not saying it's good at all. It's just enjoyable enough. Just enjoyable enough.
What
was that, David?
Glad that you're still able to enjoy it, because I checked out. I can't do it anymore.
No.
And it hurts me because I love Star Wars
so much.
But this isn't it.
Aren't you jealous that I'm not being hurt? I love not being hurt.
David, I think you sent this one to me. I didn't read it.
Yeah. There were so many articles this week.
Yeah, look at the tabs, bud. Look at the tabs.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
That's all Star Wars.
Oh.
Yeah. So again, they're saying that this article, I think, was just complaining about review bombing, because there's no way that it's a 16%.
Right. It's because it's a female lead, but we like House of the Dragon. Right.
Nice House of the Dragon. They said
Dragon.
Fallout was pretty fun.
Fallout was dumb, but
it was
It was at least okay, and it didn't.
It didn't get review bombed. I would watch Fallout 3 times before I watched the Acolyte again.
Yeah.
Sure. It's still not very good.
It wasn't a perfect show, but I had fun watching it. I liked it a lot. But yeah,
right, next one.
So.
See, I was going to say, Alan, how you feel about Fallout, what I'm hearing you say about Fallout is how I'm feeling about Acolyte. It's like, oh, it's okay. It's kind of dumb, but sure, I'll watch it.
There were some parts of Acolyte that actively pissed me off, though. I'm sorry, of Fallout. Like,
Fallout, yeah. I don't want to distract us from our news here, but
yeah.
We haven't. Yeah, I know, because our show happens during Hot D. Okay, we're gonna watch episode 2 right after this. It's boring. That doesn't sound good. Hey, look, it's a slow burn though.
I thought it didn't air for another 45 minutes.
I'm pretty sure.
We think it starts an hour ago. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We were talking about it. We think it starts at the same time our show does. Gotcha. That's our competition. We are competing with House of the Dragon, obviously. Like, it's a debate for most people whether they're going to watch us or House of the Dragon. Their thousands of viewers are also considering us. Yep.
Well,
I don't remember what this article said.
We're not ready to talk about House of the Dragon yet. We got to finish Star Wars. We will get to Hot D. No Hot D. That's terrible.
Getting ready for
that's
it.
Good. David, your wife doesn't like Hot D. Maybe it's not hot enough.
No,
maybe it's not very good.
Oh wow.
Maybe she's unsatisfied.
Maybe she just doesn't want others Hot D.
I mean, they do have 5 kids, so you know.
Yeah.
Okay, she thinks the show is better than Mandalorian season 1. Right, so she's delusional.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't remember what her reasoning was. Probably
Mando season 1 was much better.
That's right. It was because it was directed by a woman. That's why.
Oh, that makes things better. Yeah, right.
There were episodes of Mandalorian season 1 that were directed by women as well.
Yeah,
because they used more practical sets.
That is a difference, and I think that is a credit to Acolyte, but Mandalorian season 1 is still miles better. Absolutely.
Sure.
This is from the guy who's defending it right now, and everybody else on the stream.
I've rewatched Mandalorian season 1.
Yep.
I will never watch this again.
I was going to say, you've had to rewatch Acolyte a couple of times in order to make your devoid of logic, though.
That doesn't count. So, honestly, episode 4, I made while watching it for the first time.
Nice.
I was like, I can't. So I pulled it up on DaVinci Resolve and edited episode 4 as I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go back for a couple things that,
Yeah.
Pour one out for Tala. I don't know who Tala is. Thank you so much for the $1.99. What's this referencing? My brain is not working very well.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Is Star Wars?
Who Tala is.
Is Tala a Star Wars?
Or is Tala the
so.
House of the Dragon? No, because it was the.
I don't know. Someone Google it.
Boy, I don't remember.
Maybe it's a Mandalorian. No. I don't know. But thank you so much, Mark. You're wonderful. We would definitely appreciate the super chats, and I will buy.
Let us know what that's supposed to be. Yeah.
I will definitely buy Jared some copium or some Narcan. Sorry. Tala is the chick from Obi-Wan.
Isn't her name Reva?
No. She's the other one who like does she throws herself on her own grenade or something. She's the one who shows up random. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Honestly, the other one that's sneaking around with the kid under his coat. Yeah.
It was the other officer defector.
Yeah. Okay.
She was the good one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't remember a lot about that show because it was so bad.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that character.
I remembered the character vaguely, but yeah, I didn't remember her name well enough.
Okay. I hate Leslie Headland. They're pushing Dave under the bus so hard. The Acolyte writer subtly puts blame on Dave Filoni. Yes, they've been doing this. They're saying, if you don't like the Acolyte, Dave Filoni approved all the scripts. He's technically in charge of Star Wars, not Leslie Headland. I also hate Dave Filoni. Okay, I think they both should be thrown under the bus because he did approve this. But it's so funny.
Down for Dave, but yeah, I'm not as.
It's so funny that they're trying to throw him under the bus when, I mean, yeah, it's his fault too. But
yeah, it's the sort of thing where, like, I think that
don't blame me for the bad thing that I made.
Yeah, it's just that okay, he maybe doesn't have the capacity to run the entire thing like we hoped at one point in time when we thought everything was great with Dave. But yeah, so maybe he approved the scripts, but there's only so much he can do. He didn't write them.
I still blame him.
I can blame him a little bit, but there's still a lot more blame.
But it's funny that the person who wrote the script, their defense is, but someone else said it was good.
Yeah.
Alex is on the stream. That means Hot D with his fiance is over.
I'm going to say, merciful God.
Oh, your mic is horrible. Can't hear you. There you go.
Shit.
It's better.
Okay, how about now?
It's better.
Yeah, the Hot D was long and terrible. My God, I fell asleep twice.
Did you like episode 1 though?
Not particularly.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll discuss it.
Watch the episode now, though. Yeah. Because again, it's always been a slow show. It's always been, but the drama behind it has always been enough to make it interesting through boring scenes. But at least for me.
Okay, we'll talk about Hot D in a bit.
All right.
But we're got to talk Star Wars first. Everyone's attacking Star Wars theory because he's going off on. We already talked about this, though. Yeah, we get it. They didn't use the word Sith, whatever.
Yeah. Again, I think they don't need to have courted this controversy by putting it in there, but okay.
Yeah, but like all the discourse has been, it doesn't break canon that he was there because they never used the word Sith. We know. It still breaks canon.
Yeah.
And then the Wikipedia...
They changed canon. They retconned things, but I don't think it breaks canon. I don't know.
What is a retcon if not a break of canon with a Band-Aid on it?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, but at least it's got a Band-Aid. I don't know.
I don't care about this. I don't care about this. Oh, but the same people complaining. There's too many articles. Okay, the same people complaining about. Saying, oh, they haven't used the word Sith. It doesn't break canon. Counting Medu's fine. This is the kind of stuff that they also post on Twitter, okay? Obi-Wan was the best uncle ever. He is the father that stepped up. He's the only father figure Leia and Luke ever knew. They both based their sabers off of his, and Leia literally named her son after him. Obi-Wan was the father they deserved. These idiots, they are tourists. Wow. They know nothing about Star Wars. Of course, all of the comments are obliterating her.
Yeah.
Because she's an idiot. These are the fans that Disney wants. They're not even Star Wars fans.
They're not that, though. You're looking at a page that is a paid promoter for Disney.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's like 9 of these things going around, and they're all the same. And the Dot Jacob guy is probably the most successle of them.
Oh, this Twitter. One, yeah.
Yes, this dipshit right here.
I mean, that's so goofy. Oh my gosh, I can't look at that without just laughing.
I mean, it's a situation that these are paid influencers, and Disney has paid Twitter and has paid the bot army to boost these posts. Like, these aren't entities to be engaged with seriously.
Yeah.
This looks like a Scooby-Doo villain. I do not understand why.
Yeah, the more that I'm seeing
even the flick
in this like loop here, it is.
It's goofy
than I remember it being.
The head, it's like a bobblehead.
And says it's scary.
You're right. It bobbles, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
It's like Vader. You know, Vader had intimidation, and when he used the Force, you know, he would he just what. Like, come on! I'm sorry.
He's scrolling through his.
So bad.
He's swiping left on this black chick. Oh, he's racist. The acolyte's racist.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That it's not intimidating. It's not scary. It looks so goofy and ridiculous.
But good news. Bryce Dallas Howard says she wants to direct a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Go for it. Honestly, I want her to do it. I want her to do it.
Let me know if Bryce Dallas Howard is going to get naked in a Star Wars movie. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't want that anymore.
I know she got hit with that Ozempic disease, but
she did? She got skinny again?
Yes.
Okay.
But I actually enjoyed her episodes of The Mandalorian. I thought they were pretty good.
For the first,
I hate them.
I liked them for the first 2 seasons. But her stuff, her more recent stuff.
None of the stuff in season 3 was great.
You liked her Lizzo episode? That was her.
Yeah.
That one was pretty bad.
Again, she wasn't the writer for that. She didn't hire those.
I don't give a crap, David.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I agree.
Her other episodes are poo poo doo doo too.
Directors in television shows don't matter.
Okay.
The director in a television show is the equivalent of a filmographer in a movie.
Yep.
Nobody looks at any movie and goes, "Oh well, this guy was the filmographer in this movie, so I can't watch it."
Unless they're good, that's the
me and his cinematographer.
Yeah, we've had this discussion a lot. That the directing is there's lots of different types of directors, right?
The writer of this episode, though, got on Twitter and started explaining herself. Half of her comments she had to delete because Disney told her to.
Oh, really?
But we got them before they were deleted. She said she posted. Did I bring up the post? No, I didn't. She posted, "Hey, I'm the writer of this episode. I'm so excited you get to see it." And she just got roasted. "Hey, what about this? What about this? Why is this dumb?" And she answered some of them. "How come we never got to see the Wookiee in a Jedi fight scene? Shame on you. Unfortunately, not everything gets to be included for budget reasons and story, sure. There was an early draft where you got to see the fight scene, but we had to take it out because it didn't work."
See, the breaking the POV is the reason why I didn't have a problem with it. It's one of those things where it would have been awesome to see that. We're gonna see something about that in a flashback episode later, but it would have been awesome to see that. But I'm okay with it. It sucks. I would have loved to have seen that, but it makes sense to me that it doesn't flow with the show. So sure, okay.
This episode had to be short because the next one's longer. There's no reason any of there's no reason any of these episodes have to be a certain length. It's on a streaming service, guys.
Yeah. Except for their own decisions on budgetary, how the constraint of we can only spend this much money to make it this long or whatever. But that's dumb because again, this is the most expensive one that they've made. I also have been really surprised because a lot of the other Disney Plus shows, I have agreed with the fact that these episodes are so short and it feels jarring. Even though these have been pretty short, I haven't been jarred by how short these are. They felt like they've been I get that everybody else disagrees with me. I'm totally the only one, the odd man out here, but I have weirdly not been being shocked by the feeling like the story is too short or the episodes are too short.
Okay.
I don't think anybody here thinks that these episodes feel short.
Same thing. For me, I'm like, oh my goodness, is it over already?
She explained why May just flip-flopped. She's not good in that moment when she says, "I want to be a good person." She's just tired of going on errands.
Wow. Talk about a damning indictment of the plot of your own show. What is the plot of your show? Well, May goes on errands. And then she gets sick of going on errands, so she switches teams.
That's the reason. That's why she's good now.
Like I said, it was only slightly faster than Anakin's switch. So
Well, why did you put pronouns in? The pronouns was a joke, you idiot. She's referring to a little creature. Don't get upset about it. But you put it there on purpose.
That I didn't even register to me. I was totally like,
look. If he wanted it to make sense, she would have said, is it on our team? But she says, they. Is they on our team? It makes no sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's just... Pronouns. I don't care. That's me, ruiner of worlds. I'm proud of it that I ruined Star Wars for you. These people are sick. She doesn't know anything. I don't care. We didn't technically use the word Sith.
All the same
it
stuff,
hasn't broken canon yet. That's the one we already got. You sent me a bunch of these. The Rotten Tomatoes viewership shows what's really going on with the Acolyte. Where's the one where they... Okay, that's the one for later.
So this one is kind of hilarious. I think what they're saying, like I said, I don't remember because I wrote so many of them. Oh, yeah. So they said, oh, yeah, people, it's the sixth watch show in everything. So it's getting downvoted, but it's actually being pretty popular because people are watching it. It's on the hot list. You see what else is on there? Yeah, Bridgerton. So
I haven't heard of any of these shows.
Bridgerton is on there 3 times.
I've heard of.
Bridgerton is an absolute wagon. Bridgerton is the most watched show.
Right. It's so. What's so funny is they blame white guys, right? Why are white guys so racist? They're uninterested with seeing strong female protagonists. The girls aren't watching either. They're watching Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bridgerton season 1, 2, and 3 are on the hotness.
All 3 seasons.
All 3 seasons. Yeah.
Jeez, that's insane.
Yeah.
But after just incessantly hearing they're not using the word Sith, so it doesn't break canon. David, you sent me this one, and I laughed my head off. How does the Acolyte's new Sith fit into Star Wars canon? We have 10 theories. Even Screen Rant is calling him a Sith. And they are the most shillest of shills.
Did you assume his
Jacob!
gender?
Evening.
Hey, Jacob.
I did assume his gender, yeah.
This one, again, I did not read this article. I just saw
But it's hilarious.
I'm like,
yeah. Their entire argument based on, well, technically, they haven't used the word Sith. So the line in Phantom Menace is fine. It's fine, guys. I don't give a crap. Star Wars is definitely going to kill. I don't know why you sent me this one.
It's just saying
that's going to be the excuse.
All of those Jedi
they're all going to die.
Yeah.
But Keanu Mundi doesn't.
Keanu Mundi apparently, I mean, he can't die. But then again, even if this guy is not a Sith, right? You send a bunch of Jedi to this planet to save the Wookiee Jedi.
All die.
All of them die, and you don't do anything about it.
You don't think that might have been relevant?
You know?
I'm still open to figuring out how they decide to explain it, but I agree that it's him
and
being
he's a Sith
dumb.
because he's so well trained. This guy's going to have to take out all these 5 Jedi, but he's not a Sith, guys. We didn't say the word. It's so ridiculously stupid.
Can we go back to the defense that Anakin's turn was almost as fast as this one?
It was not even close.
Sorry, I had to check some things to make sure that I wasn't insane here.
No, Jared was making a joke.
Okay.
He wasn't actually saying that was a defense.
Okay.
No.
All right. So it really just comes down to the fact that it was Anakin's turn was a little too fast too. Not really anywhere close to this fast or severe, but yeah.
Okay.
This is worse. Absolutely.
This site, I'm pretty sure, is owned by Disney. Inside the Magic, they exclusively cover Disney, and they're saying it's bad. So,
yeah,
worse than the Star Wars special. Yeah, it's bad.
What? I mean, again, you apparently got to take all of my opinions with a grain of salt because I actually even still have fun with the holiday special. It's bad.
I agree. I agree, but that's one of the things that's like it knows it's bad. Everyone that's part of the project knows it's bad, and it's fun to watch anyway. The difference with the Acolyte is like, we don't understand. Why does everybody not like this show? Oh, it must be Dave Filoni's
racism.
It must be because you're racist.
It's still a good show. No, it's not. It's really not a good show. And
I know a lot of
people don't like your show.
I'm hearing a lot of people who are very much not gonna complain about woke ideas or whatever, and they're still also saying, "Yep, this is not a good show. This is not
exactly."
But even all of their complaints for the most part, I'm like, yeah, that didn't bother me. That wasn't
right.
Didn't
Whereas
stand out to me. I don't know.
with the Christmas special, though, George Lucas made it, and then he said, "Guys, this is bad. Let's bury this and never, ever, ever, ever talk about this again."
And we said, "Screw you, George. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to celebrate Life Day." And
it would be completely different if George put that out and then said, "Guys, this is amazing. You guys are so stupid for not understanding how amazing this is."
You mean like he does with the special editions?
Okay, that's a fair point.
Again, I'm over exaggerating these potential comparisons because the comparisons are weak at best. But I think that they're there. They're just not great comparisons. But I do think that there's something there. Anyway,
you're right. That's a pretty good. That's a fair argument there. I wish he would stop doing that. Although I did enjoy McClunky. That's fun.
The extra special edition.
Yeah.
I like how
I'm going to have to go really soon, so I want to be able to talk a little bit about House of the Dragon.
All right, so Jared might need to leave then.
Yeah, I'm going to head out.
Okay.
Good chat.
Bye.
See you, Jared.
Sorry to take you out, Jared.
Hot
I'll probably leave in
D.
like 5 minutes and then.
Yeah.
Hot diggity dang.
There was another article I sent you though about.
Send it again.
It was about why. Shoot! It was Leslie Headland talking about something about the show, explaining why she did something. Oh, that's right. It was talking about Kiadi Mundi and defending his existence in the show, and basically their answer was,
we wanted to do Yoda, but he wasn't technically
Yoda, and the budget wouldn't cut for it, so we went Kiadi Mundi.
We didn't have enough budget for Yoda.
Argument. The one thing that I'll say is I've heard people complain about, why isn't Yoda here? But these are some of the same people that are like, why are we always running into the same characters? And so I'm like, wait, which do you want? Do you want a familiar character or not a familiar character? Like, do not do that. But of course, again, the idea of replacing a Yoda with a Kiadi Mundi doesn't fix either of those problems.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of dumb. But again,
Yoda would make more sense right now because he's a species that lives thousands and thousands of years, and he was alive at this time.
Decided that and have that he does live that long.
It was stupid for him to be in that position too, and be aware of this not Sith, and not
still somehow not make the connection.
Exactly.
That's what the idiocy.
Guys, what you're forgetting is that they very explicitly gave the line that they can't alert the Jedi Council because the Jedi Council are mandatory reporters to the Galactic Senate.
Except
and it would make that they don't in the
on the Jedi Council, so it doesn't make any sense.
He's not there yet. He's not on the Jedi Council yet, and also. I believe, if I've heard correctly from the High Republic stuff, Yoda is not on the council currently. He had been on the council, and he's not on the council now, and then he's going to get back on the council. So they could have had him there and not be a part of the council or whatever, but I don't know.
It doesn't matter if he's not a part of the council now. He's a part of the council in the future when they're discussing the Sith and their potential existence.
Yeah.
Kiadi Mundi specifically says, no, there aren't any Sith.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, but like, we have somebody running around massacring Jedi.
Exactly.
And fucking Leslie Headland's wife just went unironically, guys, we can't tell the Jedi Council about this.
Yeah.
And this was taken like a serious consideration, and they were like, oh, no, yeah, this is fine. Like,
it's like, one, they're not going to find out about it, and two,
somehow,
even if they're not a Sith, they're going to investigate a whole bunch of other Jedi disappearing and dying.
At least they should. Yeah. The thing that's funny with that is also, if you look at that character, the last scene that you'd seen her in was saying, no, we have to do this by the book. We don't run off and do things half-cocked. We have to do it right. Oh, we should probably tell the Jedi Council, no, let's do something outside of the books now. Where did that come from? Yeah. And she is definitely the worst acting in this entire show.
Yep.
For sure.
You clearly didn't see the two children act for the entirety of episode 3. And
it didn't bother me watching it, but watching the devoid of logic, I was like, ooh, there were a couple of line readings there that I didn't catch watching it the first time. That I'm like, ooh, yeah, that's pretty bad.
I don't want to do everything you want to do. Sometimes I want to do things that I want to do. Okay, not all the time. I forgot about my favorite line from the show, which I made fun of him, is that we're not defined by what we lose, we're defined by what we survive.
I didn't hate that line in and of itself, but yeah, that was.
I was raped. It defines my personality.
Yeah.
No, but the one before that was, it's always an honor to watch anything die.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
The thing that I noticed, they're trying to connect to the idea of what Yoda says to Anakin in Episode 2 about we should rejoice when those that we love join, become one with the Force or whatever. But it's for substitution for connection. But yeah,
a true sign of bad writers is when you can only have two people in a scene talking at a time, and this entire episode is let's break off into pairs about 100 times so that we can have little conversations.
Yeah.
It's
the only
stupid.
one that I think didn't have just two people was she's not trained very well, but she was trained by someone who knows what they're doing. Yeah.
Like the entire episode is, hey, let's break off into pairs and have a conversation. Let's break off into a different pair and have a conversation because I don't know how to write anything. Mark Clark, thank you so much. $4.99.
Yeah.
Bearded speaks from his years of acting in Kim Possible. Yes, he's the naked mole rat, right? Anyway, I don't want to talk about Star Wars anymore. I want to talk about.
I said let's move over to Hot D. Let's talk some Hot D.
Okay, Alex, you didn't like the first episode.
I'm just
okay. I want to hear. Have you read the book?
I have read part of it.
Okay, all right. I want to first hear, because I have a suspicion. I think that episode 1 will be liked a lot more and a lot better by people who didn't read the book.
Okay. And trust me, my issue with this is I get both experiences. I get mine, and then I get lectured about every time they missed a comma or semicolon from my fiance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So my biggest issue with this, and this is going to probably annoy people who read and liked the book, is blood and cheese is stupid in the book too.
No, okay.
You're at war with people. If you get an assassin into their keep, kill people until you get killed. Don't stop at one because of your fucking feelings.
But they were just hired for a job, okay? They also wanted to be able to make it out alive. I think there's a very easy explanation for that. They did their thing, and they want to be paid for it. They don't want to fall on their swords.
Exactly.
They want to get paid.
They weren't hired.
These aren't crusaders.
People. They were
hired hands
for the one son that died.
Yeah. And that's what Damon's saying too. Is the one and done. All right, I'm gonna actually have to take off. I thought it was good. Lots of fun. Very horrific ending. Wow, I'm gonna see what this next episode is gonna be.
Okay, was the ending as shocking for you as the Red Wedding?
I never watched the original show. So
got it. Okay, get out of here. Go.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye, Jared.
David, was this ending as effective as the Red Wedding?
I also have not seen the Red Wedding.
But you were devastated. You were affected by the ending.
Yeah, absolutely. It was horrifying. It was a little bit weird how they just the whole sequence of them going through and asking the mother,
bumbling around for a bit.
Son is that was a little bit weird, but oh my gosh, yeah, it was super horrifying, and I appreciate that they didn't show anything, but just the sounds alone.
It was the sound effect helps a lot.
Yeah.
With selling how gruesome it is. My problem is not that they didn't show anything. It's that, and I disagree with Alex, blood and cheese is fantastic in the book. It's even worse. So what happens is they go in, and the queen has another son. She has 2 sons.
Yeah.
And the daughter. There's 3 kids. They go in, wait for the mom to come in. I think is Alicent also there tied up? I thought Alicent was in the room, but I could be totally wrong on that.
In the book or in the show?
In the book.
Okay,
but she wasn't in the show. Obviously, she was banging Kristen Cole.
Yeah.
They go in. They say, "We've been hired to kill one person. So they ask the queen, which son do you want us to kill? We were demanded to bring it to give a son for a son. Which one do you want us to kill? She chooses her younger son because she thinks he's young and won't understand what's happening, and they immediately chop off the older son's head in front of everyone and say, your mother wanted you dead. And then they leave.
Holy crap.
That's so much worse, right?
So much worse and so much better from a storytelling perspective, too.
It also has grave effects on the younger son and the future of his story in the books, too.
Holy cow. Yeah, imagine being the son that lived that you know your mother chose for you not to live. That's insane.
So,
dang, why did they change that?
I really liked episode 1. I thought the dialogue and the setup was all really, really good until Blood and Cheese. I was expecting something a lot more, and I was disappointed with Blood and Cheese. But Alex, you didn't even like the rest of episode 1 that much.
Here's my issue with this show. And it actually continued in this most recent episode.
Yeah.
I hate the pattern of we're going to spend 55 minutes talking, and then in the last
at the very
5
end.
minutes of the episode, we're going to do one thing.
Yeah. I get you.
And because by the time we've gone 55 minutes of nothing interesting happening, I'm bored. I'm checked out of the episode.
I don't know. I was completely invested in episode 1, though, because we needed a whole lot of catch-up from season 1, and it was setting up a ton of cool stuff that's going to happen later in the books. And I get that, yeah, it's slow, but it's building to something. But
yeah,
and that's fair. And maybe this is going to be one of these things where I'm going to look back and go,
after it's over.
Yes, I sure am glad that Rhaenyra had all of these conversations, and I'm glad that we're going to have 7 episodes of Corliss's bastard kids on the docks unloading boats. But goddamn, can we fucking fight dragons already?
There's dragons. They fight a lot, okay? But yeah. I don't know, but the dialogue is so refreshing though.
I know.
It's written so well.
I agree. The dialogue is...
I've been look. I realize that my bar is set pretty low right now. I've been watching Doctor Who and Acolyte, but last week when I sat down and watched House of the Dragon, I just exhaled. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is what subtlety feels like."
Yeah.
It felt so good.
My favorite scene in this show was the older son coming back to report to Rhaenyra about not Rhaenyra. What's the name?
Oh yeah, I cried.
Was it Rhaenyra? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Queen. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he has to come back and hey, I know my brother is dead.
Yeah.
I still have to do my duty, and I did a good job.
He's reporting on all the other houses that joined him, and just the way his voice cracks, and the mom just comes over and hugs him. I was like, holy crap!
He went
acting on this
He
show.
went through a growth spurt, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was, and especially because he was dressed up in Starks.
Yeah.
You know, he. I had no idea who he was until the guy says his name. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But seriously, that dialogue just in that scene alone was miles better than anything that we're getting from modern day Hollywood.
For me, it was the scene with the Hightowers talking about their idiot son.
Yeah,
behind closed doors. The dialogue in that scene, I was just like, oh, like we need more of this.
Yeah.
I don't care that it's slow; it's well written.
Yeah, that bit about him coming up and playing with the little ball thing, and then he's like, well, why don't you go do it? And he stands up to do it, and like, no, sit down. We're wasting time. It was, I don't know, it was good. Yeah, it was slow, but
it was
so good.
I liked all the scenes that we got from King Aegon II of his name. It made him very unique. It made him a human and also not great, but still like interesting. And he's not just Joffrey 2.0.
So I will say, I think you guys are going to really like the first 20 minutes of episode 2 then. Because Aegon II does have quite a bit of range here.
Yeah.
My fundamental issue with this show is somebody needs to get mad.
Okay.
Okay? We've now killed a whole bunch of family members.
Yeah.
It's time to stop getting in our feelings, and it's time to go out and
It's time to go to war, for sure. And Daemon is supposed to be doing that right now. Daemon kind of just goes off and does his own thing for a bit.
And I'm sure maybe Daemon has something to do in this next part of the season or whatever. But the only thing that happened in episode 2 is he got bitched out by Rhaenyra and then stormed off in a tantrum. Like, and it's one of those things. I'm sitting here where Rhaenyra yells at him, going, "What is the point of this scene? You need him. You can be as mad at him as you want, but you're just having a temper tantrum at him, and it's not gonna matter in 30 minutes anyway, because he's got a dragon and you need dragons."
Right.
Yeah. And so it's just him sitting there taking it, and it's a scene that has emotion that doesn't have a direction.
Okay. Yeah.
And maybe that's a better way of describing some of my frustration with some of these scenes, because I agree with you. The dialogue is several levels above anything we're seeing right now. And I'll go so far as to say I think the production design of this show is legitimately great.
It looks phenomenal.
Yes. Things look great. It's everything else. It's
pacing,
the plotting and the pacing that are just killing me. And the other issue is I need somebody to root for. And if Daemon and Aemond are going to be little crying bitch boys, I'm not sure I've got this one in me.
Yeah. Daemon does some real good stuff to root for.
In the books.
Okay.
In the books. I don't know, yeah.
All I'm hearing right now is that Daemon is currently struggling and going through his emotional journey. And, Matt Smith is talking about how he had to, really work through Daemon's depression and his negative feelings right now. And it's literally, I can just feel my arousal dying with every word he says.
Yeah. That is a flaw with this. George R. R. Martin in general. It's hard to find someone to root for because he usually kills them off.
Kind of, but I can even deal with a Stannis who is not necessarily a good guy, but
definitely not a good guy. No. Yeah.
And my issue is, Brandon Sanderson talks about this a lot. Your characters need to be, competent, proactive, and maybe likable is the third one. I forget what the third one is. And they need to be two of the three. And at the moment, intelligent, something like that. At the moment, Daemon is proactive, but not particularly competent or intelligent. Rhaenyra is none of them. None of the Greens appear to be proactive in the slightest.
That's okay. Are you complaining about Hightower's inactiveness?
Hightower's inactiveness, Aegon
Otto's?
II's inactive. Yes.
Okay, that's important though for later. That's a plot point. That's literally a plot point in the book. Is that Aemon is mad at Otto Hightower because he doesn't think he's doing enough. It'll become very, very relevant. Otto Hightower is sending out a whole bunch of letters and trying to make sure that everything is perfect. And Aegon gets mad at him, and he's like, "No, we need to start fighting." He's literally he's literally doing the Alex. We need to get on our dragons and fight.
And that was a big portion of this second episode. and I don't know how that particular thing happens in the happens in the books, but I know it it kind of came to a head uh, in this episode, and Lady B said something about a line used in the book about a hand of steel, um, which is great, but I need less talking, more doing.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I hope your opinion by the end changes, and I hope the setup was worth it. But I was also disappointed with Blood and Cheese was not as effective as I think. I think book readers won't be as disappointed. I think it's the idea implied behind it is pretty. It's horrible. It's gruesome. But it's the choice, that was taken away. That was just so effective in the book and so brutal that I don't think it's going to be talked about like the Red Wedding was talked about.
No, it absolutely was not. I mean, at the moment it's just not as culturally relevant. First of all, and part of the reason it's not as culturally relevant is that it's not as high a caliber a show as Game of Thrones was. And I'm going to tell you, I have a feeling that your guys' response is going to be the exact same thing about episode 2 of it's nice to have professional dialogue and professional production design and whatnot, and then you're going to get to the end of this one, the action scene in this one, and you're going to go, wow, that was really dumb, that was so much worse than it was done in the books. There was also a scene with Aemond that was one of the singular most character frustrating scenes I've seen in a very long time, done to a character that I liked. This was written by the same woman who did episode 9 of season 1 with the dragon pit.
Oh, okay, gross.
And I'm not sure this one is better.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's the only bad episode. Maybe. Trying to cope right now.
Guys, you may like this one. This may be a situation where I
like
don't
episode
think
1
you're
more
going
than
to
you
like the
did.
ending.
So
you did.
Yeah, but I do agree that the way it was done in the book sounds a lot better than
it was better.
Because I liked it, but I agree it was a little bit weird how it was executed in the end.
I will also say I have never watched an episode of a television show and been more confident halfway through that it was written by a woman.
Okay.
I just the way everything was handled.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to hearing about how you guys feel about this one next week.
Yeah, I think this is a good dynamic here because my brother's read the book. I haven't read the book. I haven't even watched the show. And then you have read part of the book, but your fiance has read the books. So I'm well versed in the books.
I'm really enjoying. I've got literally like 30 minutes of the book left. Right. It's really I've loved it so far, and I think aside from the stupid dragon pit thing in season 1, like the show has been better than the book. It hasn't made changes, but it's added stuff that makes stuff from the book better. Like it's because it's supposed to be an unreliable narrator. It's actually 4 different. It's one narrator who is compiling 4 different narrations of the same events, and so you don't know and he will frequently say, this character said that this happened, but based on the history, we don't know if that's completely accurate. It's probably more the case that this happened, and so it's the show has to make those choices that the book doesn't.
Yeah,
and it's added. Season 1 added the Alicent. It gave her character more motivation than the book did. because it's got the scene where Rhaenyra is talking to her daddy on his deathbed, and she tells him about Aegon's dream.
Yeah.
And then Alicent comes in and hears the same thing, and that gives her more reason to do what she does in the book. And that's not in the books at all. And it was perfect. It gave her character so much more drive to do the things that she's doing.
Yeah.
Because she thinks that she's divine, she thinks she has divine right to do it. And there's a lot of little things like from the book. Like I didn't think race swapping the characters was gonna be a good choice. It actually was better in the TV show because it was like when they have the lines where like everyone knows they're bastards because they're not black. It made it so much better. It was such a good choice. I think their hair looks stupid. They still look like mops, and I wish they didn't.
Yeah.
But it's so shocking. I loved season 1. And aside from episode 8 or whatever it was, or the penultimate episode, right? Which was retarded.
I felt the exact same way. I loved season 1, except for episode 9. And I have been really disappointed with season 2.
Okay. It's sad.
Oh,
It's sad.
We'll have to see. I'm still looking forward to watching.
You make me sad.
Sorry about that, boys.
No, it's fine. Damon is like is like a creepy, twisted guy, though. Not sure. Oh yeah, you're gonna be rooting for Damon, though. He's the best. He does the best things, the most fun, entertaining things. He's not a good guy, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward. I'm very curious to where they're gonna end this season. I have my suspicions. I don't think I'm right at all. I have no idea where they're going to end it.
All right.
That is fair. You're gonna have to text me when you get to the end of this episode.
I'll text you immediately after I'm done.
Perfect.
But there is supposed to be fighting happening very, very soon. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I look forward to it.
Okay.
We'll see.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining the stream, Alex. You're always welcome back. So.
I appreciate it, boys.
Okay. I think that's it. Oh, there's one more thing, but it's Doctor Who again. So.
Yeah.
What do you got? I finished up season 2 and watched episode 1 of season 3. It was kind of mid.
Oh, of the old stuff.
Yeah, with William Shakespeare.
Oh, I like this. Shakespeare's good.
Oh, man.
Come on. Expelliarmus, baby. It was a lot more fun when I was in high school, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've gone back and rewatched that episode.
Okay. Really quickly to show you just how stupid the Doctor Who finale was. They're trying. The whole secret is they're trying to find out who Rose's mom is, and so they travel into the future because in the year 2046, the Prime Minister forced all citizens to get a DNA test, and that's how they find out her mom. They go travel to 46 and do a DNA test. Except for previously in the season, they were in the year 3000 and they ran a DNA test on Ruby because she got shot. And came up with no results.
Huh.
I hate Doctor Who. I hate it so much now.
I'm just surprised that the sonic screwdriver doesn't do that, because it can do literally anything else it wants to do.
I hate it. But
anyway.
Just skip to Blink, okay? Go watch Blink, and then
yes,
if you don't like that, you're not going to like Doctor Who. So it's in season 3.
Blink,
skip
Blink
ahead,
3.
watch Blink, and if you like that, then watch the rest.
All right, I can do that. I'm not going to ruin anything from previous episodes.
No, that one's like it's pretty much a standalone episode. You need no context for it at all.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's really good. David's muted. Anyway, that's it.
Yep.
I'm gonna go watch some hot D, and it's going to be hopefully not as boring as Alex says.
All right.
Fingers crossed.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye, boy.
It's been fun.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining, so please consider joining.